On this week's SmackDown, tensions are expected to run high, as Jimmy USO has reportedly made a clear demand for Sami Zayn to stay away from the show. The growing animosity between the two former Bloodline allies has captivated WWE fans, especially given the complex history that intertwines both men within the Bloodline storyline. Jimmy USO and Sami Zayn, a tumultuous past. The story between Jimmy USO and Sami Zayn is layered, stemming from Zayn's controversial time as an honorary use within the Bloodline. Initially, Zayn's presence brought a sense of humor and camaraderie to the faction, which included Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy, and Jey USO. Jimmy, in particular, was one of the first to accept Zayn, often stepping in to defend him against skepticism from other members. Over time, however, cracks in Zayn's loyalty began to surface, culminating in his dramatic exit from the faction earlier this year. Once Zayn decided to stand against Roman Reigns and his oppressive control, he put himself at odds with everyone in the Bloodline, including Jimmy. Since then, Zayn has teamed up with Kevin Owens to pursue tag team glory and later ventured back into singles competition. His defiance against Reigns and his efforts to dismantle the Bloodline's dominance earned him the admiration of fans, while deepening the rift with his former allies. Jimmy's growing frustration. Jimmy Uso's frustration with Zayn seems to have only intensified since Jey USO departed from the Bloodline. Jey's decision to leave was in part influenced by Zayn's insistence that he would be better off free from Reigns' control. This has left Jimmy in an unenviable position, forced to prove his loyalty to Reigns, while dealing with the impact of his brother's absence. Jey's departure left Jimmy as the last remaining USO in the faction, making his standing more precarious and perhaps fueling a sense of resentment toward Zayn for his influence. This week, Jimmy made his stance clear, sending a message through social media and WWE programming that Zayn should stay away from SmackDown. For Jimmy, Zayn's presence represents not only a challenge, but also a painful reminder of how the Bloodline has unraveled due to external pressures and internal discord. For Jimmy, controlling who can and cannot appear on SmackDown is a means of asserting his authority and loyalty, aligning with Reigns' ongoing directive to keep the Bloodline strong and united. Will Sami Zayn defy Jimmy Uso's warning? While Jimmy's demand for Zayn to stay away may sound like an ultimatum, Zayn has rarely been one to back down, especially when it comes to the Bloodline. His history with the faction suggests that he could be inclined to show up at SmackDown, either to confront Jimmy or to demonstrate that he refuses to be intimidated. Zayn's defiance could serve as a moment to further develop his character, positioning him as the unwavering outsider determined to dismantle the tyranny that the Bloodline represents. WWE fans have seen him transform from a loyal follower to one of the faction's fiercest critics, and his resilience in the face of threats could draw even more fan support. What this means for the Bloodline's future. The ongoing tension between Jimmy and Zayn signifies that the Bloodline saga is far from over. Jimmy's demand also raises questions about his own leadership within the faction and whether his actions have Reigns' full approval. Reigns is known for his calculated moves, and Jimmy's decision to challenge Zayn on his own could be seen as overstepping his bounds. Should Zayn appear on SmackDown despite Jimmy's warning, it might signal a shift in power dynamics within the Bloodline. The possible confrontation would set the stage for a new chapter in the feud between Zayn and the remaining Bloodline members, heightening the stakes for Jimmy, who must choose between personal grudges and his loyalty to his family. Conclusion. Jimmy Uso's demand for Sami Zayn to stay away from SmackDown underscores the ongoing conflict that has defined WWE's most dominant faction. While Jimmy insists on keeping Zayn out, fans are left to wonder if Zayn will respect his former ally's warning or embrace his role as a disruptor. Either way, the anticipation is high, with fans eager to see how this confrontation shapes the future of the Bloodline and the broader WWE landscape.